All right, here we are with Satin Bikeaholic, and the reason for that is we've got Simon Noble with us. Simon is about to take on a challenge of Everest up the Skyline Access Road. So, well, Simon, welcome to Jimmy's Talkin Turkey.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for getting me on as well. It's it's going to be a pretty big challenge in the next few days. So.
Yeah, so I want to just wanted to get a bit more news out about this, I guess, for people. There might be a handful of people that have not heard of it.
Yeah.
I think you're not just doing it for yourself. You've got a pretty good cause behind it as well.
Yeah, definitely. I figured that if I'm going to do an Everest, it's a pretty decent feat for pretty much everyone.
Yeah. So what's the? We'll touch on it a bit as well. But what's the charity?
It's the Making Tracks Foundation, which is a foundation to make tourism and adventure activities inclusive to everyone. So with people that aren't able to walk or use their bodies in a full form. So It's pretty cool what Jez is doing.
And getting them stuck into some pretty awesome activities in Queenstown and elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Like paragliding, the gravity quads that I'm raising money for. They do some rafting stuff as well, and skydiving, everything. It's sick.
Sweet. Well, we'll get into the challenge a bit later on, but first I'll start just with you. So you're originally from Australia and you moved to Queenstown 3 years ago now?
2 and a bit.
2 and a bit.
Yeah.
So not long before the whole lockdown.
Yeah, so it was September 19 when I first shifted here. So it was booming then.
What made you make the move? Was it the mountain biking that drew you to town?
Yeah, definitely. The sole purpose of coming here.
Yeah. So how long had you been riding for before Queenstown?
11 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started when I was 19 or 20.
Yeah. And what part of Australia are you from? What's the riding scene like?
It's pretty flat. It's a pretty decent scene for what it is.
Yeah. And where is it? Sorry, in Aussie you're from?
So I'm from Maffra, which is 3 hours east of Melbourne. It's like a dairy farming sort of area. It's pretty flat. And you got to drive a long way to get places, 45 minutes minimum at 100 k's sort of thing. So
it's a classic Australia.
Yeah, definitely. It's
pretty big journey for going to see your neighbours.
Yeah, not quite that bad, but yeah, it's like a 20k ride will be 150, 200 meters of vert. Yeah, so it's pretty flat.
And had you done before you got to Queenstown? Had you been elsewhere around the world riding? Was Queenstown your first time out as Aussie doing mountain biking?
No, so I came to Queenstown 4 times to ride bikes previously.
Okay.
Just on holidays and stuff like that. And I did do a few days in Vancouver area when I had a visa for there and activated it and come back home.
Sweet. So you went to Canada. Did you go to Canada for the riding too? Or was that just
I was going to. But I just went there for 8 days to activate my visa because I didn't have my shit sorted. So so I missed out on doing that because of COVID in the end. So
shit.
Yeah. So in 19 I activated it at the start of the year in March, and then it sort of coming to the end of the year, and I was like, well, I want to do something. I'll go to Queenstown for the summer, then I'll go to Canada and come back again. And I was just like, oh, sweet, I've got my summers sorted for the next few years, but we've obviously all been locked out of everywhere for a while.
But it's not been the worst place to be locked down. Queenstown's obviously grown a whole heap, and even in the last couple of years, there's been a lot more trails made, and it's been pretty rad. So you were working at Bikeaholic as well before the COVID lockdowns hit, and now after. What's working in the bike shop and working in that industry? How's that been? How's that affected business? Because you've got the rental side, and then you've also got the retail side, which nobody can seem to buy bikes or components at the moment. So.
Yeah, so the rental side has basically been pretty much dead. We haven't gone very heavy in that. We've been more of a retail and servicing with a bit of rental. Since lockdown, basically anyone that has a bit of spare cash laying around wants to spend it on something. So bikes is obviously booming, as everyone knows.
I think it's actually, I'm pretty sure I came out of that first lockdown with a bit more cash because you couldn't spend it on anything, and then and then you're like, sweet, I've just
Yeah,
saved
definitely.
and luckily we had the subsidy as well. If
Yeah.
you're fortunate enough to be able to receive that, then
Yeah,
you were sat in your house getting paid, but having no expenses because you weren't going to work or you weren't going to the pub.
yeah. Like you could
Every
only buy
night.
groceries, and you're just like, oh, cool.
So then, yeah, buying bikes was like top of the list when we were back able
Yeah.
to run around.
Yeah, we had a lot of people inquiring and just buying stuff straight away.
How have you found the keeping on top of stock? Because everyone knows getting anything at the moment, you have to wait
Yeah,
like a month if you're off to order it.
yeah, some stuff we've actually got pretty good stock of, and then other stuff we've run out, and it's months or years before we can actually get stuff.
What's the worst? If you were like, who's the person that comes in and asks for the item and you're just like, sorry, what's that item?
XD driver cassettes at the moment.
Ooh.
And SRAM 12-speed chains.
Oh yeah.
There's
So
not
everyone should
many.
ride Shimano.
Yeah, it's cheaper and
Just
better.
because you can suck it at the moment.
Yeah, like we went real heavy on ordering a lot of stuff like straight as soon as COVID happened, and yeah, Jana's been real good with keeping stock coming. Like at some points, it's like we've been the South Island Shimano warehouse kind of thing. Like
Wicked.
if anyone wants Shimano, they just ring us. So.
So come to Bikeaholic if you're missing your chain or
Yeah,
brake lever. I actually brought some brake levers from you guys the other day.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah. We just constantly back ordering stuff, and it's hard to keep on top of what you've back ordered without sort of really paying attention. But
You're making it work.
Jana's onto it, so it's good. And like I've been going through a lot of parts like chains, brake pads, rotors, everything, and we've got them all, which is pretty sick.
It's pretty ideal. Yeah, I know I've been waiting on a few bits, but it seems like you guys are actually pretty well off every time I come in here. You sort me out pretty
Yeah.
quick, which is good.
Yeah, definitely try to keep everyone going as well as ourselves. Like we all want to ride our bike.
And going back to the bikes, so when you got to Queenstown, how is your ability of riding? Do you feel like it's changed a lot since you got here, coming from a relatively flat Australian terrain, and then here, your vert's like 2Ks and you got 400 meter
Yeah.
vert.
Yeah, like I thought I rode okay there. I was definitely pretty rubbish.
Oh yeah,
And then now I think I ride okay.
yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely got a lot better from just purely riding heaps and riding sick trails. Like
Yeah.
you're always going to get better, and you're just going to keep searching for something steeper or more fun or rooty or whatever you're searching for.
Was that where you'd say your discipline lied, was more in the downhill? Because the challenge you're about to do is very much uphill.
Yeah.
Was that what you would have drawn to initially in mountain biking, the cross country uphill side of things, and then you've kind of transitioned into the downhill, or is it always?
So when I was 19, I bought a downhill bike because I thought that was sick.
Oh right, yeah,
And then was a pretender, obviously, for quite a while, thinking I could race. And then I bought just a trail bike as a fitness bike. And then it
what year would
slowly
that
morphed.
Because trail bikes in the last few years have just become unbelievably good.
I think it would have been like 2011, 12, maybe.
What was the trail bike?
It was a Trek Fuel EX8 that was an X-Demo one.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like the Trek Demo Fleet one. So it was...
It's probably around about that age that the trail bikes were becoming more aggressive, and
Yeah.
Trek had a few of the Santa Cruz. I feel like Trek were actually, there was a couple of brands. Trek was one of them, which I thought their bikes were always a bit ahead of the time when it came to the trail bike stuff to what they are now, and then everyone else joined in.
Yeah, this one was just like double chainring and like no dropper or anything. At that time, they were still pretty new. Got a reverb for it, made it one by, and I thought it was the best thing out.
The dropper, I always like asking like bike mechanics these sort of questions. What do you reckon is the best component on a bike these days? So in terms of like the best innovation, like dropper's got to be up there.
Yeah, definitely. Droppers and one by, I reckon. Not
One
that
by.
I'm a mechanic, but yeah.
Sweet. So all right, That's the one bike is pretty good because the dropper's like a pretty common one. I know. Like when you listen to the Downtime podcast, you listen to that one,
yeah,
and he always asks them like if you had $250, everyone's just like tires, and
I
feel like
you
the
can't
seat
really
post is
buy
like
a dropper for that price anymore.
Oh no, I wasn't saying about price, but it's like it's a pretty standard thing that has
definitely.
just changed the way bikes have been, what you can do with them.
Yeah, like I'd hate riding a bike without a dropper now. You'd just be like, this sucks.
What's even worse is the last bike I had. It was the trail bike was that Nomad with it didn't have a dropper, but all my mates had a dropper pass.
Yeah.
So you've either got to be the guy that just has to quickly stop, put it down, or just learn to ride
with your seat
with
too
your seat
high
up.
or too low. Yeah.
which both is like not ideal, but
no, especially
I can't
here
remember
with it
what I
being
did.
so steep. Like,
yeah, well the bike was pretty small, so luckily I think that the seat didn't come up too high because it was a medium frame. So even at its peak, it was still not too crazy. But
and like a Santa Cruz's medium back then would have been really small.
Oh yeah,
compared to today's size frames.
Yeah, speaking of bikes that changed the game, that Nomad, I don't know what year that was. It was like 2008. That was a bike ahead of its time for sure.
Yeah,
That's
like
sick.
the Santa Cruz VPP is real good. Like they haven't changed it that much.
Yeah, and you could put coil shocks on those Nomads as well, which is like something like
groundbreaking for a trail bike then.
They were pretty damn aggressive. That one, I only got rid of that one like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's sick. Back to you. So what bike will you be using for the, what is it? Is it 8,600?
8,848.
Shit.
Yeah, it's a big old day in the office.
Yeah, so what are you going to use for that? And what's your setup? So are you clipped in? Are you flats?
Yeah, so I'm clips. I've got a Transition Spire, which is 170mm front and rear 29er. It's
big dog.
It's definitely a big, heavy bike for a climbing challenge. But I figure that once I'm super fatigued, that I'm going to need all the help I can get on the descents because that's when I'm going to crash.
So what hill are you going to do this on?
I'm doing it up in the Queenstown Bike Park, up the access road, and it's been pretty soft.
It's pretty
the last couple of days. Yeah, I think the average gradient's like 16.4 degrees or something like that, with some real punchy pinches in there. So,
and like you say, the trails down aren't exactly a walk in the park. Even the easiest ones, like if you're flogged.
Yeah, definitely. Like hammies, you can go so fast on that if you a foot offline and you end up in the ditch or something,
because how many laps?
Wreck yourself.
How many laps will it have to be as well?
Depends what lap I end up doing from the top. Because if it's real wet or the forecast is looking wet, I'll end up doing something a bit lower down, like just off hammies or doing hammies at the top.
Yeah.
But if it's good weather, I'll go up above Squid and do a cheese trail.
Yeah. Do you think you'll try and hit the same lap every time just to keep it consistent?
So to be an official Everest, you have to run the same route every lap.
Yeah.
So for like road bikes, they have to actually do the same road up and down.
Yeah.
But mountain bikes, being there's one-way trails and that sort of thing, they allow a loop as long as there's no kinetic gain. So you run downhill and you get vertical gain at the end of it. So as long as there's nothing of that, or they take that
and it's just all
element out.
Yeah.
Because it is a climbing challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the track you've picked is you got one of the cheeses that'll join. Will you go into Hammies or will you go into Squid from there?
I'll do the little bit of Fernhill loop above Hammies.
Yep.
Because it's pretty much one of my favourite tracks.
Mm-hmm. So that's it runs parallel to Hammies down to Midway.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's pretty chill. Like it's got a few roots and rocks and stuff in it and a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then it's got that little bump over the tree with the off-camber roots, which
tough,
is
that bit.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, I reckon lap 20 will be pretty tough too.
Yeah, I might end up going the low line. But yeah, just all depends what the weather does in the lead up for that top half of the lap.
Yeah. And then
you don't want to be doing something super greasy for 20-something hours.
Yeah, I guess you can drop onto Hammies as an alternative.
Yeah.
If the weather's not so good. And then from Midway clearing down, you'll be...
Thundergoat, Lower Grundy, the last two jumps on original, and then Thundergoat, Trouser Snake.
Yeah. Back out and then straight back up.
Yeah, straight back up.
What was I going to ask? So how many laps in total is it going to be? Is it 21, 22?
21, 22, just depending where I get to at the top.
So it will actually be...
As long
you'll
as
probably
the
do
GPS
slightly more then, eh?
Yeah.
in total? Because if you're going to complete a full lap, you're
Yeah.
going to actually do slightly more than that.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like 20.4 or something if I do the cheese loop. So obviously it'll be 21.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends if the GPS signal reads well as well. Like,
Yeah.
it might be super overcast and it's not reading that accurately, and it ends up being 22 laps. Like,
Yeah. So
just see what happens.
how have you found? Because you've been training quite hard for this for a long time. When did you start? Well, initially, when did this challenge come into your head? When did you think you're going to do this, lock it in, and then start training?
I've always had a thought like an Everest would be super like hard to do and should be something I'd do one day. But during July, I was like, set this goal. Initially, it was like, I'll do 20,000 meters for the month. And then the first few days into the month, I was like, I'll just bank some 1,000-meter days. It'll be sweet because like July school holidays, I was working in a ski rental shop. Ski rentals in school holidays are mental.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll just bank a few early meters, and then I'll back it off a bit when it's busy. And then, got 2-3 days in, and I was like, I've been doing 1,000 a day. I'm going to do 1,000 a day for the whole month.
Yeah.
And then I'd say 2-3 weeks maybe into the month, I was just like, if I'm going to do an Everest, it's going to be now. Like, I'm getting all this fitness from smashing up the access road like twice a day.
Yeah.
I may as well just do it this summer.
So that was it.
Yeah, just you've obviously got quite a bit of time running up the access or riding up the access road
To ponder and think of these
Yeah, you go to some pretty weird places.
things. Yeah.
Like,
Then, so when did the serious training start for this then after that?
I guess basically I was like, I'll have July is a big month. I'll get my 30,000 or a K a day done, which ended up being way more. I ended up doing like 50 something thousand, 50,
Jesus.
51 with a 4,500 day on the end of the month.
Yeah. Shit.
And I was like, cool, August I'll have a bit of a chill month, but I'll just try maintain a bit of fitness. And then, September big, October chill, November big again.
Yeah.
I was just like, that seems like a logical way
So this
to do
is,
it for
so you didn't,
some reason.
Did you just like make your own training program for this? You didn't look at any?
Yeah, completely in the dark. Like,
Just
I've
go
got
hard.
no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then obviously, once I decided I was doing it, there's some pretty mental people in town. Like, obviously Ben, he's pretty well known for his vertical challenges.
Was he a bit of an inspiration as well leading into this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, there was quite a few people pedaling in winter that were doing some pretty big numbers. So I was just like, I want to get in on that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do some vert.
Queenstown is just definitely not good for your self-esteem sometimes, when you look around.
Yeah. Especially when you see some 12-year-olds just sending dream and stuff, and you're just like, I'm a pretender.
Yeah. But so onto the training. Sorry, so that was the physical aspect of it. You just asked for a bit of help from those guys, or a bit of insight. Or?
Yeah, just like a few bits and pieces here and there, and then like Adam Carlson, the ex-club president, he's a mountain man.
He's a psychopath.
He's savage, yeah. And had a little bit of a chat to him about a couple of things, and just picking up little bits and pieces from a few people. Yeah. And obviously did a bit of a Google here and there, but it doesn't really show up that much.
No. And your nutrition as well, have you kept that the same, or have you adjusted that to suit the training lifestyle?
Basically just eating a shitload more than what I was. Yeah. Eating pretty similar to what I was. Like, I try to eat somewhat healthy.
Are you eating more because you're hungry because you're training harder, or are you just eating more consciously because you know your body's going to need that fuel?
Both, I think. Like, some days it's 2 or 3 lunch portions throughout the day. Yeah. And then it's big breakfast, pasta for dinner, the last 5 months, which is sort of wearing a bit thin. But
what's the go-to quick?
Just a spag bowl, basically.
Bowl, plenty of carbs.
Yeah, with heaps of veggies and stuff in it, and beans, mushrooms.
Are you a vegetarian, or are you a meat eater as well?
I do both.
So you just everything,
Yeah, so sometimes I'll just go vegetarian for a few weeks. Sometimes I want to eat meat.
But you're not strict.
Nah.
No.
No,
just are what you are.
I usually eat vegetarian to eat healthier because I have to put more stuff in it. Where sometimes you're just like, oh, I can't be bothered. You just like pack a mince, bottle of spaghetti sauce, and you're done. And you're just like, I feel shit.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm terrible with food. I just put it in my face, and that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, and like being single, I hate cooking for just myself, so I just make bulk meals for like the week.
Yeah,
and just like cook up a whole heap of lunches and a whole heap of dinner, and just have the same food all week.
We can also promote that as well. So Simon's single. So if there's any girls out there that like some of that pedals, drop into his DMs. So the training, the nutrition, and then So did you know that when you wanted to do it, did you initially want to do it for yourself, or did you know when you were going to do it that you had to put like a reason like a charity behind it, or did the charity come second? Was that like a second thought?
It was, second thought. Like, I wanted to do it for myself, but I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'll find someone that's worthy of like making some money for or raising funds for a cool cause. Yeah. And like making tracks is pretty close to home with the accident I had in 2017.
So what was that?
So I was in Bright in Victoria, which is like a mountain town that's got a pretty cool trail network there. And just, it's like a huck yeah sort of line, probably a bit smaller, and just big OTB on one of the jumps, like not very confident jumper at the best of times, wasn't then either. Yeah. And like 40 Ks, and the last thing I can remember is just coming down super nose heavy and then waking up on the ground. Yeah. So obviously knocked myself out, and then it turns out I split the ball of my femur in half.
Into the hip?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. I did like a T12 superior facet, so like the little wingy bit, I chipped that a bit. Collarbone, there's a bit of a brain bleed, like a back full of gravel rash. It was a bit of a shit time.
full body workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty big recovery from that for sure. Like 3 or 4 months in a wheelchair. Had like this like ridiculous plastic back brace on that was just like a
I've
cocoon.
Seen a few people in those before. Yeah,
they're not fun. And like this
in
was
Australia, a bit hot as well.
It was in summer that I did it, and you're just like sitting like aircon blasting, just sweating because it's so hot.
And then how was that recovery back onto the bike? You say it was how long in total? Was it from crash to riding again?
From crash to like riding around, I think it was July-ish, so pretty quick.
Yeah. When was it crash like?
It was middle of January.
Generally July, so
I think it might have even been earlier. Like as soon as I could walk, I was on the bike. Yeah. Because I got the okay to weight bear fully on my leg, and I was like, well, when can I ride? And the doctor's just like, you can ride when you can walk. So I was like, sweet, I'm walking tomorrow then. That was not the best idea. Like that night I was just like, oh, I'm so sore.
Were you quite happy to get back on the bike, or did you find there was a bit of like post-traumatic stress getting back on there?
No, like that was quite surprising as well. Like in hospital, like I went to 3 different hospitals. So I was in Alfred for 10 days, I think. And within like 2-3 days, I'm like, right, I'm going to recover. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to get fitter. I'm going to like try be a better rider. And from then on, that was just what drove me through the whole recovery. Yeah. It's pretty gnarly. Like in a trauma hospital, I was next to like there was a guy that he'd had a hip replacement, which is not that gnarly, but he was walking like within a couple of days. I'm just like, why can't I walk?
Yeah, he can do that.
Yeah, I was just like, oh.
So actually found like motivation from that though, rather than it being like a mental block. It was more of a
definitely found a positive in it and just used that to drive the recovery for sure. But like in physio and that, you're just like, whoa. Like people that have had like massive car accidents and stuff, and just basic motor like movements and stuff, like just moving their hands. They can't use them anymore. And you're just like, holy shit, I'm real lucky here.
Fortunate.
Because it's like, yeah, if I had broke that vertebrae worse, might not be able to walk.
Yeah.
If there had been like a bone fragment or something into the femoral artery, could have bled out internally, like, or just hit my head that hard that I don't know what day it is. Like.
I feel like with any crash you have, whether big or small, you're always so fortunate to come out. If you come out without an injury, you're always so fortunate because you look at how people do get injured, and sometimes it's like, you know, you say the crash you had was quite significant and quite gnarly anyway, but sometimes people can get injured from the smallest of
like tripping over a curb or something, and they've even hit their head the wrong way. And
well, that's it on the mountain bike. There's so many objects around you, trees, rocks, whatever, to hit your head on any crash. So or if you come out pretty unscathed, or you just count yourself pretty damn lucky. So
like tuck the front or something and headbutt a tree and you break your neck. Like it's not hard to do, and it's something you obviously know that can happen, but you still you've
got to block it out. I think the reward, you know, that is, it's part of the sport, but I think the reward that you get from riding every day, whether it being like the social element of meeting good friends, the fitness element with yourself, there's so much more reward, and that risk at the end of the day, like that could happen crossing the road getting hit by a car. So you may as well, definitely. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. And like, just the mental side of things from exercising a lot, like you just feel good and you're pretty stoked with life, really.
Yeah. Quiet. Yeah. And so going back to the charity, so how did you meet Jezza? And what's Jezza's story? Sorry, so he set up the foundation.
Yeah. So I met Jezza through, I saw Alan Sparks riding one day with Jack Howison, I think it is. He's got the electric bowhead trike that burns around in the bike park.
So they're the ones that they got the two wheels on the front and single on the back.
Yeah, it's like a fat bike rear wheel with a pretty punchy motor on it.
They got like not an e-bike, but
no, it's like a gnarly electric motor. Like it goes 40 k's or something.
Yeah.
And I saw them together, so I messaged Alan and I'm like, I want to find like a charity to do with this, like something to do with making things accessible for other people to ride bikes or just have fun sort of thing. And he's like, try this guy out. That was Jezza. Gave him a call and he's just like, oh man, like this is awesome. And he's doing like a brand relaunch and everything on Wednesday as well. So
Jezza, he was a pretty gnarly dude himself. Well, he still is now.
He just went on like this gnarly rafting trip the other week.
But is he paraplegic?
He's tetraplegic.
Tetraplegic. So what does that mean?
So he has no feeling in like the lower half, like legs don't do anything.
Yeah.
His arms do have movement, but no real motor skills in his hands. So he can, obviously do some things. He can push himself around in his chair, and obviously he's still pretty.
He can ride.
So he's
right equipment.
He's building or getting himself a special sort of one that has two levers to operate his, because he can't use handlebars because he can't grip them properly. He's, I think the left hand levers like go and stop, the right hand's left and right, but they both push forward and back. So it'll be a real strange feeling to learn that, because obviously it's very different to like operating anything else in the.
And how did was his from an accident as well?
I believe it was a canyoning accident. He was doing like canyoning tours or trips in somewhere in Europe, and just something went wrong. I'm not too sure what happened. Yeah,
and that was it. And
and now he's pushing boundaries still. Goes paragliding. He was going to go up today, but he said the wind was a bit too gusty and changing. He was just like, nah, it's a bit too gnarly. Like he's like, I like doing stupid shit, but that was a bit much.
Yeah, this is why I wish I got you in on such short notice, because I wanted to get Jezza in as well.
Yeah,
to hear more, because I think it sounds like he's got a pretty cool story to tell.
Yeah, he's
obviously
he's an interesting dude. Like, he's cool.
So you met him. You've met him face to face now as well. A
few
times.
A couple of times now. But when I filmed the little promo video with Jason Beecham. He was in town as well, so I met him for the first time then. And then, yeah, he just popped in down to Queenstown a few times, and he's actually here now until the event. So
yeah, sweet. So he won't have that bowhead ready for then. So he can't join you for a lap.
maybe
Might come
it sounds
down.
like it could be going.
Awesome. That'll be pretty wicked too.
Yeah, and I think Jack might be heading up as well. So
Yeah, I see him up there all the time.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Scares the shit out of me.
yeah,
He comes up the road so damn fast.
Yeah, he wears stuff out so quick as
Yeah.
well because he's just up there all the time.
What was I working on the other day? Oh, I was taping the track for Crankworks.
Yeah,
And so this was Wednesday when the bike park's closed, and I saw him come up the road, and it's like they're a little loud once they're close to you because of the electric motor. So it's like
yeah,
going up the road flat out, and then I was like, oh, there he is doing a couple of laps, and Crankworks came down Armageddon. So I was taping Armageddon, and the next minute I could just hear like,
yeah.
and I turned around and he was coming down Armageddon in the bowheads or
Yeah, bowhead.
bowhead,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, and we changed the bottom of it in winter, didn't we? So now it's got that real slick last shoot, and there's that drop just at the end, and between the tight trees. And I was like, no way is he going to get down there? So I hung around because I was like, I'm going to have to
Help him out in
help him
case
out
something
here.
goes wrong. Yeah,
And yeah, anyway, like he rode it absolutely sweet.
yeah,
And then like he might have just gone to midway, I'm not sure, but that was Taven. He came up again. He was just like punching laps of
Yeah.
Armageddon. So that was a bike. I can't believe how versatile those bowheads are. They're unbelievable. Actually.
yeah, definitely. Like he's gone down Ants track a few times, and
Shit.
he actually did like a barrel roll crash and then self-righted it and grabbed the bars again and kept going. I was like, holy.
Because the front wheels, they must be only as wide as the handlebars, are they? So they can still
Yeah,
fit
pretty much
through.
about a metre wide.
Because that's what I said. I was like, he's going to get stuck between a couple of trees. But
Yeah, like I took him down Lower Grundy the other day,
yeah.
and yeah, like made through that all right because it's pretty wide through
That's
there.
wicked.
But like just sends it down the roots and stuff. You're just like, this is so sick.
Yeah, it's been awesome seeing the innovation in the adaptive equipment as well,
Yeah.
like within skiing and now mountain biking as well. There was like Martin Ashton, obviously had his crash a few years ago now,
Yeah.
and he was on. There was like that biggest. It was a biggest seat, and it had a similar like electric
Yeah,
motor.
like a bucket seat on
Yeah,
a downhill bike,
Yeah.
and then they fix the cranks
but you're
so it
quite
can be strapped on. But
reliable on other people's to like get
yeah,
you in and
like
then
if you fall,
to get going.
you're stuck down.
But these bowhead
Yeah.
bikes like, seem to be like the
Yeah.
ticket. You don't even need the bloody gondola either. You just ride up the road.
Put you out of a job.
Yeah,
But yeah, like Martin's got a bowhead as well.
yeah. Aussie on them as well now.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sick. Like
And I was, what's his name? Sorry, James, is it?
Jack.
Is it Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that picture of him as well hitting Mini Dream so they can jump as well.
Yeah, like he's hit the wooden jumps at the bottom of Mini Dream, and then he did like the main hip
Yeah.
the other day and come up a bit short and like snapped his rear axle or something.
shit.
I was just like, holy.
I might throw, we'll have to get his Instagram handle as well. I'll throw that in
Yeah.
the description so people can check him out as well. Because, yeah, I've like, yeah, it's been awesome to see him like riding in the bike park. And
Yeah, definitely. Like he
what
sends
those
it.
bikes, I have totally had my eyes open to what those bikes are capable of. So that's pretty cool.
So his handle is Jack_Howitson.
Howitson. I'll put it in the description as well, so just in case, so people can
Yeah.
get the spelling right. But yeah, the videos I've seen of him, so it'd be good for more people to see what he's doing because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and like he's just such a stoker. Like he's like all of us that ride normal bikes. Like gets up there, has a ball, and just wants to ride with people. And
Yeah,
it's just sick that.
he can be part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like
and that's what the charity you're raising money for is all about. Is
Yeah.
just to give these guys that have had unfortunate circumstances, whether it be through a crash or just from how they were born, to be
Yeah.
able to join in.
like everyone deserves to have fun and have a bit of downtime or just get the adrenaline pumping. Like
Like you say, I think the biggest aspect to biking is the mental side effect, like the positive mental
Yeah,
side effects it has on
definitely.
you. And man, we always think how lucky we are to have what we've got, and if that got taken away, I think that'd be so hard. So
Yeah,
to
like-
have the physical exercise must be so
yeah,
good.
definitely. Like I pretty much only ride bikes. Like
Yeah,
if I lost that, I'd would definitely be a bit lost for a while. And
With things like this, though, that's becoming like
yeah,
you almost maybe a bit dangerous. Though you get a bit too loose, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I can still just crack on.
yeah, definitely. That's
But
definitely one way to look at it, anyway.
but you're not. So you're raising money for the quads, which are a bit
Yeah.
different setup to the
The bowhead,
to
yeah.
the bowhead. So are they made in New Zealand? Where are they?
Yeah,
made?
so Jody makes them in Wanaka.
yeah.
So he's Wanaka based, and they run like 26-inch wheels, and like 4 shocks on each corner. Like it's
So
kind
pretty
of like
aggressive.
a sort of pretty gnarly like 4-wheel motorbike without a motor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ah,
a
so
little-
these aren't assisted by anything.
Nah, so these ones are purely gravity
Yeah.
at the moment.
Mhm.
I think there is some ideas on making them motorized, so you can actually get around a bit
Get
easier
around,
and
yeah.
not rely on someone if you end up not making it up a hill.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides with the Skyline gondola is that we can't actually get them on the gondolas themselves
Yeah, so
And
you have
if
to
we
put them
only
on
have-
that little cargo.
on the freight
One,
deck.
yeah.
Yeah, and we only have one going around, and if it's being used for freight, then it's the logistics to try and tee everything up. It's
Yeah.
just like it's not an ideal situation. So the motorized aspect of them seems like a pretty good thing to have.
Yeah, and I think they want to do the motorised ones to be able to go like out to Glendale and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a bit less gnarly out there and just a bit more
Yeah,
out and about.
and
having
they're a
of fun.
bit wider as well than the
Yeah.
bowheads as well. So
Yeah, I think they might be like 1.2-ish
Meters.
meters wide.
yeah.
So
I get
still,
them down most tracks.
yeah, still reasonably narrow, but
Most you get them down any flow trail though.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because there's no like most flow trails are built with at least 1.8.
Whatever.
Excavator, so that's like
yeah,
it's probably similar width
yeah.
with the tracks in. So
But then being that they're purely gravity fed, jumping, you obviously can't control your fore and aft
yeah,
in the air. So you got to be a bit more careful with jumps and stuff.
yeah. Have you rode one? Have you? They've
No,
given
not
you
yet.
the chance.
I
Will you?
might.
Do you reckon you jump in one?
If I'm not completely gassed at the end of it, I might have a little roll around on
Do
it.
you do your last downhill on the quad? Oh, well, that probably be against the rules though.
Yeah, and it wouldn't fit down cheese. So
Oh, true. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty narrow down there in spots.
So how can people help if they want to? So you've got a few sponsors lined up for this as well. Do you know off the top of your head companies that have helped you with?
Yeah, there's actually been heaps that have got around it, which is real cool. Like, so Mon's just come on board. They put like $500 vouchers in. Paul at ProFlow's done some like $525 vouchers for parts, service, or apparel, and a few hats.
So this
and stuff.
is. So this isn't money towards the charity. This is for people to donate.
So the money is towards a charity,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make it more enticing for people to want to donate.
Oh,
so
right.
I'm going to do a raffle
Yeah.
for everyone that enters.
Oh, sick!
And I'd say there's a couple of grand worth of prizes now,
Yeah.
like all up. There's like iFly doing some stuff with some like family
Yeah,
tickets. Shot Over Jets got a couple of adult passes. The Shot Over Canyon Swing,
Yeah.
Zip Trek. There's some Atlas food vouchers. Wes from like Crimson Badgers put in a hoodie.
yeah.
Like there's just heaps of cool stuff.
So-
And
so-
Skyline's even put a 50 run pass and a couple of Gondi and luge tickets as well. Like there's some cool stuff.
Some prizes. So that's for anyone that. So how do people donate?
So there's a few posters around town with
Yeah.
a little QR code on it with a dinosaur in it. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Then on my Instagrams or the event Instagram, so the longest long day,
Yeah.
all just one word. Then there's a link there,
Yeah,
and it's just a give a little page. Chuck your name in there, put whatever you want to put in, and
and you could win for donating. You could win
way
more than what you
yeah,
donate.
yeah, definitely. And then I'll have some posters up around the place on the day as well if you're out and about. Or
Epic.
um,
Are you gonna? How long will this be live for? Will people be able to donate after
think-
the event as well?
yeah, I think we're going to extend. Like it is meant to end on Wednesday, but we might extend it like a week just in case people don't know about it.
Yeah.
So just if they learn about the event after the event, then if they wanted to donate,
Get stuck
and-
into it.
they can chuck a little bit in.
And then say they miss the event as well and all that donation. Is there a way they can still donate to Jez's charity as well? Do you know? Or would that be for him?
I don't know, to be fair. Once the Give a Little's closed, I don't actually know.
Sweet. I'm sure there's
I dare say it's pretty straightforward. He's a charitable trust, so.
Sweet. So and he's called Making Tracks with an X, so TRAX instead of TRACK.
Yeah.
So should look that up. With so as well with you, has anyone supported you personally leading into this?
Yeah. So Mons, like Sandy from Mons in Queenstown, he obviously heard about it and he was just like, yeah, if we're going to support you, like, we'll give you some kit as well. So he gave me a couple of kits, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Some of the their new released stuff, which is cool.
Nice.
And then like Paul from Profo, if I'm riding so much, I obviously need to service my stuff a lot.
And have you got EXT on your bike or just the shop?
Yeah, that one that's in the shop is Matt's Spur.
Oh, it's not Matt's.
Yeah, I drove to work today because I've done my ride this morning.
4:00 this morning.
Yeah, so I run EXT front and rear.
Yeah.
And Paul's the service agent and importer. So he hooked me up with pretty good deal on servicing.
Nice.
And then since all this has been happening, he put forward me becoming an ambassador for EXT as well.
That's it.
Which is just gone through. I'm just waiting for the new shipment of the V2 fork and another shock so I can run EXT on both my bikes.
Awesome.
Which is pretty cool thing to have.
Have you got two transitions or what's the other bike?
So I've got the Sentinel still, which I was riding the past bit over a year, and then the Spire,
which you're using this. What day is it? Sorry, is it the 20th?
22nd.
The 22nd
of December. Yeah. So Wednesday.
A couple of days away.
Yeah, I've the last couple of weeks I've been going to bed real early and like waking up earlier and earlier because I'm going to start riding at 1 a.m. or at least try to.
Yeah.
And then the idea of that is so I potentially don't finish in the dark.
Well, it's long days now. So you chose that date because that's the summer solstice?
Yes.
Yeah, which is the longest day for us, so hopefully.
Yeah, that was the idea. I was like, well, it's the longest daylight day. I may as well have a bit more daylight to deal with. Like, if I can only ride in the dark at the start, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Because like during July and September, like I'd finish work sometimes and go for a ride into the dark. And it just killed my motivation. Like I'd get to the bottom of the access road and I'm just like, I don't think I want to do it. But just so stubborn with setting myself goals, I just make myself do shit.
Wicked. Well, and then are people able to join you on the ride?
Yeah.
Are you happy for people to come and jump in?
Yeah, so Pete Robinson, local in town, he's going to do the dark shift with me.
Oh yeah, he's going to get up early.
Yeah, because he's doing Godzone next year, so he wants obviously some torture for some a bit.
Pain.
Yeah, he's going to help pace me in the morning to not go too fast.
Oh really? Well, Pete's a bit of an animal himself.
Yeah,
so maybe.
But like
you might need someone in front of Pete to pace Pete. To pace you.
But yeah, I've got my pace pretty good, and like I know what feels fast and what feels sustainable.
Yeah.
It's just come from pure repetition.
And what's the total time you're aiming for? Because this is the bit that I always don't take into account is
how long
it's actually going to take. And I think of just any task I'd do for even 8 hours, like an 8 hour shift at work, by the end of the day, you're buggered.
Yeah.
But you're planning on doing...
If I can do 50-minute laps, it'll be roughly 8.5 hours, or 18.5, sorry.
Yeah.
Which is pretty long.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be able to sustain 50-minute
50
laps.
is a pretty good number, especially with a few food breaks in there.
Because like every lap I'm going to eat at the midway on the way down, just to break up the descent, because that's when I'll crash or get fatigued. So stop midway, have something to eat, and like swap out water bottles each lap. Maybe chuck a banana in my pocket, and then on the lap back up, sort of from Colpith where it mellows off for a bit, smash a banana there and carry on.
Will there be a few posters at Midway as well for people so they can follow the QR codes?
We're going to have a bit of an aid station set up with Marcus, my housemate. He's going to be my chef for the day.
Oh, nice. You got a chef on the side.
Yeah, but we'll probably pre-cook a lot of food. It'll just be a matter of him sorting things out for me. Like,
Funneling it in you.
yeah, and just like, how much did you eat this lap? Did you drink all your water bottle? Like, sort your shit out. Because like, you don't want to eat. Like a couple of weeks ago, I did a bit over a 5,000 meter day, just purely to like check hydration, nutrition, that sort of thing. And I wanted to do a 5,000 meter day, just make sure fitness seemed okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was like some form of bar every lap, and then I was doing a banana every second lap on the way up, and then a bunch of electrolytes, and then water bottles, just switching out and just seeing how I felt, sort of thing. And then like because I didn't really plan that well that day, I was just like, I'll just have a big day. I'll just
see how
some
we go.
food. Bought a bunch of stuff the night before, just some lollies and bits and pieces, and I was just like, I'll make a few different sandwiches, like just to change it up.
Yeah.
So I did like a salami and cheese sandwich. I did a jam sandwich, a Vegemite sandwich, and just like a bunch of lollies and stuff as well. And it all went pretty well. Like I didn't get hungry, which was good. And I tried to eat every 500 calories burnt, or so my watch says, which is roughly a lap. Mm-hmm. And it seems to work okay.
You're on point.
Yeah, like I didn't finish that 5,000 day hungry.
Yeah. And how was the fatigue level on that day as well?
That was pretty good. Like,
so we're looking good.
Yeah, I'm confident, but also cautious, like of not being overconfident.
You don't want to pedal too quick.
Yeah, and like I've mentally prepared for like it taking 21, 22 hours. Like if it happens in a shorter time, awesome. But if it doesn't, like I'm not going to beat myself up about it and start trying to sprint laps to catch up. Like that's the worst thing I could do if I've already dropped back.
It's going to drain you pretty quick.
Yeah, but I do also know I need to keep a decent cadence so my knees don't blow up.
Yeah.
Because they get quite sore when I pedal slow.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think just pedaling for 8,000 meters vert would probably just bugger anyone.
Yeah, like the day after that 5,000 day, I felt pretty good.
Yep.
But the next day after, I was like, I'm pretty tired today. So yeah, I've got a few days off afterwards, and then it's Christmas, so I've got a good chunk of days to recover and do the orphan ride Christmas morning as well. And
nice.
You can't miss that if you live in Queenstown.
No. Yeah, if anyone hasn't done that as well, Christmas morning, pedal up the access road to the top.
Is it 8:30, 9 o'clock?
I don't know. There's no official time. Just get up there somewhere around about 9 a.m. and you'll see everyone, I reckon.
Yeah, probably 8:30, and then you can't miss it.
Yeah, you'll see us there. Well, we'll wrap it up there. It's the 19th today. I'll get this out tonight. 22nd, the longest long day.
Yeah.
Simon Noble is going to raise money for making tracks. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Donate.
I think we're up at like 3.5, 4 grand at the moment, which is sick. And
but yeah,
any more would be awesome.
Well, there's not a cap on it, so just put as much money in as you can afford, and you could win some wicked prizes from the sounds of it as well. So I'll be throwing a bit of money in there, and I'm going to be up. I'll try and catch you for a lap as well, I reckon.
Yeah, nice.
More importantly, I think join you for a lap, because you're going to see what it's all about.
Yeah, and just help motivate me to keep going. Like I am pretty self-motivated. So.
Yeah, I got no doubt in my mind you're going to smash it. I reckon you're going to do another lap just for fun.
Who knows? Maybe try for that 10,000 meters.
Yeah. Next minute you'll be on Olympus Mons. What's that? That's the next one. That's Ben Hildred's new.
Yeah.
I don't know has anyone done that?
Yeah, so I think it's Emma Baitup.
Oh yeah.
Nelson Way. She did it a month or so ago, which is sick. It has definitely crossed my mind. I was
can't even comprehend doing those 3 days. So.
Yeah, like it has definitely crossed my mind, because if I do that, I'll probably get 1,000,000 feet for the year as well.
Oh, well, who knows? But well, let's start with this.
Yeah.
Everest is happening 22nd. We're going to raise heaps of money for a good cause. Simon's going to be buggered. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. All the Type 2 fun.
For all that information, follow the description in the Spotify link. Thank you, everybody.
Sure.